Welcome to the Competitive Marketing Summit podcast series with your host, Ben Scheerer. And we're thrilled to have you with us. Don't forget to snag your spot for our incredible event from March 24th to 26th in Golden, Colorado. Be sure to register quickly. Spots are disappearing fast. Now, let's dive into the show. Over to you, Ben.
And hello, everybody. My name is Ben Scheerer, and this is another edition of the Competitive Marketing Summit Video Podcast Series. Joining me today is Hao Nguyen. Hao is one of our speakers at the conference, but I really thought it'd be good to have a one-on-one conversation as, just kind of get Hao's angle on what she's going to talk about and really how this benefits competitive marketing overall. So welcome, Hao.
Thank you so much, Ben, for including me. It's wonderful to see you again and to chat with you. I'm so excited for the summit. I'm looking at the agenda. It's chock full of great speakers, interesting insights, especially around generative AI and the future of the competitive intelligence role. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think, AI, of course, is like that elephant in the room, right? So we can't ignore it. We don't want to over rotate on it, but at the same time, this is like crucial in our workplace. And I think you're going to talk a little bit about that as well.
Yes, I'm going to be speaking about sales enablement in particular. And the role of generative AI is awesome. It will accelerate your generation of your work. It will accelerate your insights. It will help you do what is really, really hard for sales, which is to keep it simple. So in sales enablement, there's tons of moving parts in an enterprise. You got your product team, you've got your partner team, you've got your corporate marketing team, your field marketing team. You've got so many teams, and they all want to teach sales a message. And when you pull all those folks together, you have about 30 messages at minimum, and that is too much for sales. So one of the things I'll be talking about is how do you keep it simple from the seller's perspective? What is the customer journey? What is the seller's role in the customer journey? How do you leverage battle cards? How do you leverage sales plays? And what information to put in them versus information you should leave in the appendix?
I think that you kind of hit the nail on the head, right? It's that content that's simple yet very decisive. And, you and I have worked together on these programs. In fact, when I was hired on to Red Hat, as you remember, many years ago, I was hired in to help run a competitive program. And it was actually came all the way from the CEO down, right? And we were like hand in hand, like sales enablement and, competitive marketing, where like this was our deal. And it had really top exposure in the company.
Yeah, the C-suite was looking at it very carefully. We had a lot of feedback, including from the executive level. But what was really great about that was how much attention we got from sales and how much the sellers of all technical levels liked it. You had your account managers or account executives that understood the message, the competitive message succinctly. And then you had your technical folks all the way down to services, like highly technical folks that could make easy comparisons with the competitor that we can't name at the time.
Yeah.
But it was a very large effort. And I think that team, the work stream we were part of, the sales enablement work stream, had like 60 or 70 stakeholders.
Yeah, it was huge.
To review the material itself, not like high-level stakeholders. Those were the immediate stakeholders.
Yeah, no, and I think, as we kind of put our KPIs in place and measured the program, like it hit all the nails on the head. In fact, happy to say like that competitor really got kind of, pushed aside. And it was like I worked myself out of a job 2 years later, right? Which I guess that's what you want to do in competitive, right? You want to beat your competitors. But luckily I was able to find other work. But at the same time, it was certainly a kind of an eye-opening experience. So how you now are more focused. You run your own consulting organization. Tell us a little bit of some things you're working on there, and maybe how this kind of meshes with what you're speaking to later.
One of the fun things I'm really working on. So I work on sales and marketing efficacy and efficiency, so optimization.
Oh,
And
okay.
one of the things I do is around where in your workflow can you identify and leverage AI, and where can you identify and leverage other people? It's amazing what you can do now. You can make a voice of the customer chatbot that you can argue with as a competitive intelligence person. You can make, and I've built chatbots, like custom secure ones for different customers. That is voice of the seller, voice of the technical seller, voice of services. So you can predict what they will or won't like about your content and how it aligns to what the customer wants. Because so often in large enterprises, what you get is a lot of opinion, and a lot of opinion usually leads to extra slides,
Yeah.
extra words on the page, and that is not effective for selling. So
No.
you can use these tools to hone it down and to provide some pushback and evidence when you have a lot of stakeholders. So
Yeah.
it's pretty exciting space to work in right now.
I think that's really cool because when I look at like both competitive intelligence and then product marketing, right? And I've tried to bring these two worlds together primarily in the high tech space.
Yeah.
But competitive intelligence, we look at like getting as much information as we can, like really good, solid information. But the marketing side is like how you disseminate this to actually make it impactful. Right. And I
Yeah.
think like how you said, be able to motivate or impact your sellers in a way that, they wouldn't otherwise have the content or the information to do so is awesome. And I think also what I heard too is there's a way to do this with sellers, right?
Oh,
Repetition.
yeah. There's a way to do it. Um, Not all sellers like being called sales, for example. So you have to adjust your language. Sales enablement to me is just internal marketing, but with a captive audience where you have the email list and the email list is clean. But essentially, it's internal marketing. You have to understand your personas, their channels, and adjusting your content to those personas and those particular channels. What serves an ISR does not serve more technical folks. So you need to know those fine differences and where they are. That means building content across each persona. In the past, the problem was that it's very hard to build that much content. You're only one human being or a team of human beings, but in any case, there's a human part, and you can only produce so much. With generative AI, you can do a lot more fine tuning across different personas to get your content out there. There's another thing to think about too when you're marketing internally. It's 7 is the magic number. A seller or anyone has to hear a message 7 times. And that message better not be more than 6 words long, but they have to hear a message 7 times. Yeah. And in order for it to sink in. And what you're looking to do when you're building your enablement plan is where's your 7? What is your message? Where is the 7? Oh my goodness.
I knew those would come in handy somehow.
Oh, handy. Nice. Well, you're right. Right hand. Just like yeah. But yeah, you're looking to figure out what that core message is by persona and where you can repeat 7 times. It could be on an all hands call, it could be in individual team meetings, or you have to get creative. It's not just collateral that you send out. It's the people you're influencing, like your regional sales leader. Did he agree or she agree to say something about the competitor's product or a competitive stance in their Q4 call, whatever it is? Like you're looking for places to strategically place the message as many times as you can, but at least 7. So that's how I've approached it, and how you build your roadmap based on that.
That's great advice. And I think you're spot on. I mean, I hear it constantly. It's, repetition is good. Over communication is good, but at the simple level, right? And the same thing 7 times. That if I take away anything from this talk, that's the number one, right? And I'm sure we'll deep dive a little more into that in your session in March.
Oh yeah, because we all know simple messaging is incredibly complex to create.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So we're excited to see you in March.
I am so excited to come to Denver. It'll be a fun time of year to do it and to meet everyone else working in this space. Because
Yeah.
I think the wonderful thing about the marketing summit is the community you end up developing, like the competitive marketing summit. Like it's the community you build.
Yep.
So I'm
And that's,
excited.
yeah, you nailed it on the head. That's exactly how we differentiate ourselves. And it's actually a forum where even though we initially started off to focus on like high tech, it's all kind of real fast moving type businesses that,
Yes.
need this kind of information, needs to disseminate it very quickly to provide value to their organization and sellers. So that's kind of how we fine tune it. That's how we differentiate ourselves. And that's frankly why people are drawn to the conference.
Yeah.
Hopefully I got that message out at least 7 times. So.
I think you did. I think you did. Yeah.
Well, very good. So again, Hao will be on our day 2 agenda. And I think I'll put a little pointer to the agenda here in the video, which is the 26th of March.
Yeah.
So please join us. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm so excited to see you in a few weeks.
I can't wait to see you. Thanks.
That's it for this episode of the Competitive Marketing Summit Video Podcast. Our thanks to our guests. Ready to level up your CI game? Join Ben Gilod, Jay Nakagawa, and Clara Smith at our Day 1 Masterclass workshop on March 24th. It's going to be epic. Of course, none of this would be possible without our generous sponsors. We can't wait to see you in breathtaking Golden, Colorado this March.